What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Blind Power. Today we're going to talk about Tesla and self-driving automation. Tesla announced 2 weeks ago, it's been hard to make videos, so I haven't been able to get to this topic. I'm going to do it last week, but I was in finals week for college and now I'm graduated from college. So that's the great part of it. So today we're going to talk about Tesla and the self-driving industry. So this is a great step. What Tesla talked about last week and a half ago, it was very interesting because they said that they are changing the way that their self-driving cars work, essentially, their automation. They had a partnership with NVIDIA, which was a graphics company that made graphics processors for a computer. So it's basically like the chips that handle the visual part of a computer. The company that does all that's NVIDIA. But Tesla decided they're going to make their own chip. Now, this is a big step for self-driving industry and for those of us who are blind and visually impaired, because of the fact that that means they have more control over their automation. Therefore, they announced that they were going to create a self-driving service where, while Tesla owners are at work, the car essentially can pick up and drop off people like Uber. Now, this is innovation, not because, we'll be able to use those cars for our transportation at the beginning. Yeah, we have a third alternative, besides Uber, Lyft, and now we have another alternative, the Tesla self-driving Uber service. I'm not sure about the release date, but what I will tell you is the following. If this is the case, when this service is perfected, right now, they're giving the cars just enough trust to go pick up and drop off people. If that's the case, when this comes out, with the new Tesla, I think it's the Model S they're going to be doing it with. The Model S or the Model X. There's one of the Tesla cars, I don't remember if it's one of the newer ones or one of the older ones, but they're basically having an option to replace the graphics processor on the car with one of the new ones. What this means, essentially, is that these cars that are compatible with this new chip, essentially, they can become full automotive cars, that can drive the blind and visually impaired if we decide to buy one with this chip in the future. I feel like, with this self-driving service, they're probably going to run it for 2, 3, maybe 4 years, and then they're like, okay, now we're ready for the self-driving process where now, select people who are capable of managing this car, the blind visually impaired, like us, we can have this car and have it drive us places. Now, there is proof that this is a completely safe measure. I know right now we could potentially drive this car if it wasn't for the fact that, it has you take the wheel occasionally. But, with this self-driving, Uber-like Tesla thing that they're doing, that means that there's no grab the wheel occasionally. It's more like, oh, I am in control, you don't grab the wheel. The car, the self-driving automation is in control by itself. You don't have to touch the wheel. You don't have to do anything. This is cool because of the fact that once, they've perfected and it's all automotive, these chips are just going to keep getting more and more powerful. What I wanted to show you is 2 clips, and I'm going to narrate them because, not everybody can see them. So the first clip is, there's, a car in the back recording a Tesla, right? The Tesla's driving, and then all of a sudden somebody's going to crash into the Tesla. The Tesla swerves off the street. You can see the smoke rising and hear the screeching. And then the Tesla saves the driver inside of the car from being in an accident completely. If it wasn't for the automation, the car would completely be destroyed. That is the first proof that this automation is getting closer, and that's with the NVIDIA, processor for the graphics part, for the automation. With this processor that Tesla is said to make, essentially, there's going to be, even more fail-safe. So basically, if somebody has like a seizure in the car will pull over and, it'll call the ambulance. Essentially, it's going to get, even safer than what it is now. And it's pretty safe right now. Now, the reason why we're not able to drive these things right now is because certain things, like with what they have now with the NVIDIA video processing, is the fact that if it's raining, it could potentially make a mistake. If it can't see through the cameras, because I know it has like other sensors as well that are using other high-end technology, not cameras, but the cameras are useful too. Now here's the thing: if one of the cameras fail, right, or something fails, that's a problem, and there's still things that could potentially fail. There's been videos that show the car making a mistake that could potentially, you have to grab the wheel before that happens. So those mistakes are like 15%, probably even 10. So it keeps diminishing. The mistakes that the car makes keeps diminishing because these Tesla owners, when driving, the car learns they're driving, and basically the car is always learning and sending it to the automation database. This for us is incredible. Right now, if we decide, oh yeah, we can save the money to get a Tesla, which I want to do soon. That means that right when it comes out, we can essentially drive with automation. Once the team at Tesla says, hey, this self-driving service, people will send their car out to make the money while they work. Basically, like an Uber. If they decide, oh, this is great, there hasn't been too many mistakes, or there's been no mistakes, they're basically doing this so that once the car is basically zero mistakes, like 0% or 0.100, whatever, like almost no mistakes, that's when they're going to release this automation. This is cool. I hope Tesla, starts shipping, these chips and putting them in their cars, in the Tesla cars, because then, more automation training is going to be done. Data about the self-driving vehicle will basically be gathered without the passenger inside, which is great. It essentially means that the car is going to get smarter over the next 3 or 4 years with the self-driving service. I am excited. I feel like, we all should eventually. We'll be able to drive probably by the mid to late 2020. Most likely mid. I don't think late. I think like 2025, 2024, we'll be ready to have our own Teslas and have our own self-driving cars. Audi is having their own thing, but the problem with Audi is that Audi, they don't have like self-driving cars like Tesla does. So Audi doesn't have the data that Tesla has to release the service. So maybe if Tesla's nice enough to share their data, which I highly doubt, but right now it looks like the first car to be in the industry that we'll be able to drive is the Tesla. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. This new Tesla processor, video processors that they're doing, it's just incredible. Like, I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy here, but essentially, if a company makes their own processor, their own components, that means that they have 100% control over the behavior of the component. When it's made by NVIDIA, they have to use NVIDIA, what's called APIs, which is the developers, how they have to implement this to communicate with this, graphics processor. So they have to communicate through NVIDIA's API into essentially their own program. So basically, you have a middleman that's communicating with the processor. If they design their own API, which they already have, their own APIs with their own processor, which they are doing right now, we can essentially see even better performance in these self-driving cars because they are in control. Tesla is 100% in control of their processor, video processor, and they can now decide how hard they want to push that processor in a situation of an accident, for example. They could be like, okay, we're going to push this to the point where if there's a problem, the car is going to, do this. Like, oh, if this, then that, basically. So if there's an accident, do this. If the person in the car makes an abrupt movement, which could mean a seizure or something, pull over, and stop the car and call the ambulance. So these are things that could be even faster. And then when it comes to automation, when, they have everything, already figured out, all the fail-safes, you know, they can make an even more powerful processor, and they can do even more. So that's going to be great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this talk about automation. As of the recording of this video, it's Google I/O. So I might make a video about that once that's over. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Hit the subscribe button and remember to enable the notification bell to get all notifications of blind power uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.